Man, just another night at home. Wish I had something to do. Only if there's some sort of audio that could change my life, change my perspective, maybe help me revisit some old friends. Holy shit, what is this? Pop Culture Reflections? Starring J-Pop himself, the Pride of Pennsylvania? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Pop Culture Reflections is one of my favorite podcasts of all time. Justin, host of Pop Culture Reflections, homie for life now. He brings you those nostalgic podcasts. He brings you those feelings of yesteryear. It makes you feel something inside, whether it's music, movies, wrestling. He touches on it all. So motherfuckers, listen to fucking Pop Culture Reflections right here on the You Run Podcast Network. What up, everybody? Welcome to Greg Hasn't Seen It, part of the You Gonna Eat That Crust extended universe. What's up, guys?
What's up?
I like that Greg's waving, even though this isn't a video podcast.
As you know, I am the guy on the ones and twos. They call me Fed Harley of Razorback Hollow. They call me Fatback Supreme. I'm Ryan Wilson. With me tonight, the Pride of Pennsylvania. Ween is slowly becoming his favorite band, and he's so conflicted. The J-pop superstar himself, Justin. What's good, Justin?
Hey, that old woman scares the piss out of me. And by the way, I am not the Prince of Pennsylvania. That's Keanu Reeves, but different story for a different day.
You don't hold a torch to Keanu. I love you, but you know Keanu. Also with me tonight, the only person with a mind dirtier than Flint, Michigan drinking water. A master of Detroit-based trivia. Loves terrible movies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's John Don Jovi. What's up, John?
I do love terrible movies. I spent a whole month just talking about terrible movies. Let's talk about a movie that's not so terrible.
Let's talk about Greg Hoey. Also joining us tonight, sexiest varicose veins in podcasting, biggest forehead podcasting. Greg, what's good? You slut.
I forgot to mention that on that acoustic show I just went to, I wore jeans. And I haven't worn jeans in, I don't know, like 3 years.
But did you poop those jeans?
I did not poop those jeans. My girlfriend bought me jeans because she likes me in jeans.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
Wow. Pretty early into the relationship to have your girlfriend start dressing you. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Can someone fill me in on what the fuck we're talking about tonight?
Yeah, I guess I'll do that. That's probably my job here. So this is the reoccurring segment of the You Can Eat That Crust podcast called Greg Hasn't Seen It, in which Greg admits to having not seen about 50 million movies that he probably should have seen while he was working in the video store. This month, we decided to talk about the movie Pumpkinhead. I don't remember whose pick this was, if this was mine or Justin, or if we just agreed on it, but it doesn't matter. We'll get right into it. For this movie, Pumpkinhead came out in 1988. It's a movie that is about a grieving father named Ed Harley, not Ed Hardy, even though I would love to see him wearing some like bedazzled jeans and a gaudy tank top, who summons a vengeful demon called Pumpkinhead to exact revenge on a group of dirt biking dickheads responsible for his son's death. As the creature carries on a brutal rampage, Ed Hardy changes into a bedazzled gene, linked demonic entity or whatever, realizes he has a psychic connection to the demon, and shenanigans ensued. For those who haven't figured it out yet, I'm probably going to call Lance Hendrickson Ed Hardy for the rest of this episode, so you might as well get used to it now.
I believe Ryan picked this episode too, by the way.
Was this Ryan?
Yeah.
Sure
Good
was.
job, Ryan. Pile on Greg. He needs more influences in his life. So
Yeah, well, it's like finding out one of your best friends have been lying to you your entire friendship. It hurts, and it's like you never really know somebody, I mean, you just see what they want you to see, what's on the surface, but deep down, there's just a man who wants to fit in, and he's
I was
trying and
finally excited to get
struggling.
to redneck aliens.
hey, peer pressure is a son of a bitch. I'm going to turn it over to Justin. And Justin, why don't you let us know some of the people that are the cast and crew, whoever's important that we want to refer to in this movie, and we'll start getting into it.
Yes, sir. It's directed by Stan Winston, not known necessarily for direction, as he didn't do a whole lot of that, but he is best known as one of the greatest makeup and special effects artists in the history of movies. Some of the biggest and most important movies of the 80s and 90s, he was a big part of the special effects. The movie stars Lance Henriksen as Ed Harley, Jeff East as Chris, John Aquino, I don't know if that's right, as Joel, Cynthia Bain as Tracy. Yeah, there's a bunch of people we don't care about. George Buck Flower as Mr. Wallace, though. Tom Woodruff Jr. as Pumpkinhead. Dick Warlock, Mr. Michael Myers from Part 2 himself, is in the flashback sequence at the beginning of the film. And there's actually a tiny little Blossom as one of the Wallace kids, if any of y'all picked that up.
Really? Blossom's in it?
Yes,
Liam
she is.
Bialik?
Whoa!
Yep, she's in it.
Whoa!
She sure is.
Damn. I did not.
Greg, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, where the hell what's that stupid movie called? So, do you know the other movie that Stan Winston has directed? I'm going to guess the answer is no, and that's okay.
I'm going to guess the answer is no, too.
So, sorry, it's not showing directing credits because would you like to be subjected to a gnome named Norm at some point? Because that's the other movie that Stan Winston, the man who created the Xenomorph and the T-Rex, Terminator 2's effects, his only other directing credit is for a gnome named Norm. Is that something you'd be interested in subjecting yourself to?
I mean, if I have to.
Okay. It might not be for this series, but it might be somewhere down the road on a different show that you might or might not have to deal with. And Ryan, I might subject you to it as well. I think that would be
that
fun
sounds
to have
awful.
you guys.
I'd love to watch it.
I think it'd be fun to have you guys just utterly pissed off at this movie. So, so we know Greg hasn't seen this movie before. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it. But since Ryan, you subjected everyone to this, what's your backstory with Pumpkinhead? How'd you fall into this one?
Oh God, like my stepdad was trying to prove that he was the mega stepdad when I was a kid. That's why he bought all the horror VHSs and just gifted them to me. So he gave me right off the bat, he gave me Predator, which I'd never seen. He gave me fucking Hellraiser, and then he gave me Pumpkinhead. And yeah, I loved it as a kid. I'll say that I loved it as a kid, and it's an enjoyable romp. What a film.
Justin, I don't know that I've had a conversation with you about this particular movie. Do you have a history with this one, or I'm sure you're aware of it? I don't know if you've watched it much.
Yeah, no, I watched it a lot when I was a kid. I want to say it was like a TNT regular for me. I think it played on that network a lot when I was a kid. So it was one of those that when it was on and I wasn't doing anything else, sometimes I popped in the middle or whatever, but it was always an enjoyable flick. It wasn't one of my favorites. It's not one of those ones from the era that I go back to a lot. In fact, this rewatch for this episode was the first time I've watched it in, John, I would probably say 20 years, maybe
John,
more.
Indeed.
That's right.
Damn.
Yeah, same. It's probably been about that long since I've seen it as well.
So I watched it a few years ago because we covered this on our show, but I found this movie because I had one of those friends that's like a Pumpkinhead fanatic. And I don't know if any of you guys have that friend in your life, but there are some like diehard Pumpkinhead fans, at least for the first two movies. I've always kind of had mixed feelings on it, and we'll get into that more, but it's one that I think if you put at least a few years between it stands pretty well. I don't know that I could watch it multiple times within like a short period, though. Greg, for you being the new guy to this one, did you have any preconceived notions into this? Like, did you have any thoughts on the artwork around it, just looking at like any of the posters or anything like that leading up to this?
Well, first I got to say, Justin and Ryan haven't seen it for 20 years, which is weird because that's how old Lance Henriksen was in this movie. He was a young 20-year-old Lance Henriksen. I remember this cover very well at Blockbuster. I was always intrigued by this movie. I don't know why I never watched it. I don't know if it kind of scared me off a little bit, but I always thought the cover was very cool. And Ryan's been talking about how it's the redneck aliens, which
he's not wrong.
I mean, yeah, no, it didn't really remind me of aliens at all. Maybe minus his shoulder forks and his love of climbing trees. I will say that right off the bat, the not the special effects, but just the creature in the movie was awesome looking. I thought it was really cool looking for, was it 88?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Aliens 86 and the Xenomorphs look pretty badass, but we had talked in an episode of A Slice of Pop Culture with Aliens was so dark, you were able to get away with a lot of shit. They had some dark scenes in this, but there was also a lot of lightning strikes, and you've seen Pumpkinhead in the flesh. I gotta say, I thought it was very weird that they revealed Pumpkinhead right at the beginning.
Yeah, so that's going to come up as a point of conversation again too, but we'll break that down more. But why don't you keep rolling into it, Greg? You're on a roll. Tell us some of the stuff that you like on this one. We can start kind of going around the room as far as what things are good in the world of Pumpkinhead.
Well, so I hated the kid from the start.
Dennis the Menace?
He reminded me of the kid from Jerry Maguire. And that too. And pretty much that dog got him killed. It's the dog's fault.
Gypsy!
But I was thinking to myself the whole time, Gypsy.
Never blame the dog.
Well, I'm just saying, I was thinking
the dog was improving his living situation. Now he just gets to hang out with Lance the whole time and Ed Hardy, as opposed to this, Dennis the Menace, my girl lookalike kid.
Well, I was just don't hurt the dog. Hurt the kid. Just don't hurt the dog.
Right.
The dirt bike dudes were fucking
Congratulations,
assholes.
Greg. You just graduated to being a horror fan.
I know when that movie Good Boy came out, they had to put a spoiler alert out, listen, the dog doesn't die.
I still refuse to watch it. So.
Yeah, Michelle does as well. She won't watch it. I'm the dog doesn't die. I heard it's great. But yeah, the dirt bike dudes were fucking tools. The main guy, Joel, was such a fucking asshole. It was Rad meets Aliens meets rednecks. But yeah, it was so ridiculous. The opening scene was so ridiculous. The story is kind of all over the place a little bit. And I gotta say, I definitely enjoyed it. Like I said, I watched it 3 times. One of the times I really wasn't paying attention that much. But so second time I took notes, and then the third time I basically just watched it as it is and kind of absorbed the Pumpkinhead. And yeah, the dirt bike guys were fucking idiots.
Someone needs to write down a timestamp as to when Greg said absorb the Pumpkinhead.
Hey-o! Right in the butt. So, that guy Steve sticks around and helps the kid, and he's the first one to get it. Gets it brutally. It's this guy at least tried to fucking help, I guess Pumpkinhead, he absorbs all sorts of shit. I missed that joke there, but Pumpkinhead kills. He
certainly does. So Ryan, why don't you follow up on that? What are something? Jesus, it's just Justin and I in the room together now.
I had to pick
Ryan, why don't you pick up next on this, and what if anything are some of the things that you like in this one?
Well, I think Pumpkinhead he's fantastically designed. With Stan Winston, you're gonna get that shit anyway. That's why he's the legend. That's why he's the fucking master. I also really like I like the way this movie's lit too. There's a lot of cool lighting and a lot of kind of still shots of Pumpkinhead that I really thought were cool. I thought him up in the tree looked pretty fucking dope. And then when he's in that fucking hollowed out church, I thought that was dope as well.
That was cool.
And I just feel it's a movie that maybe kind of suffers from the time because he looks so badass, but there's not a lot they can do with him. They can't really they don't get super visceral with anything. And I think that would have helped this movie. Some over the top violence maybe would have helped this movie a lot, I think. All the kills were pretty tame. but also the acting's so bad that I love it. It's one of those movies as well. Like when the girl's like, I don't know why you need a shotgun in the back of your car. Anyways, like, and I don't know where this accent all of a sudden comes up like, all right, you never know what you're gonna find in the jungle, baby. I'm like, what the fuck was that, dude? And like after the first, like, you know, the kid gets killed, the guy, like, the dudes are locked in the closet. Guys, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Like, just wow. There's so many wow moments in this movie, but yeah, mostly I like the sound design in it too. Like whenever, you know, Pumpkinhead is going through the woods, you get that creepy like spider sounds and sounds of the nature, and like a pretty all right industrial gothic kind of soundtrack with a little country twang thrown in, which is kind of new for me, you know. So that's where I'm at with it at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I thought watching this movie, I was like, this movie could be remade. I know a lot of remakes, you know, fall on its face, but fall on their faces. But I thought if this movie like maybe had a different director or just a little bit of a different story, it could have been really cool. And I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm not giving away, you know, my score yet. I'm just saying like I thought it suffered, like just like Ryan said, it was lacking a little bit, but there was a lot of really, really cool elements, and Pumpkinhead being one of them. Like he looked awesome in a lot of shots, and he was a very well designed creature, I thought.
See, I actually think this is a movie that would be perfect for a remake because it's good and interesting enough to make you want to see more of it, but it's not quite so good that it's untouchable. The problem is if you were to remake it now, it would be entirely CG, and I would probably be pissed off about that. So that's a whole different argument. But if you found the right person, and I don't even know who that person is at this point, like maybe you pull Tom Sweeney out of semi-retirement, or Nicotero, or one of those guys, or even like a Damien Leone, if he wants to stop making clowns and do something different, I would love to see him fuck around with a movie like this and go for like a much bigger premise. But maybe surprisingly, maybe not, I agree with you that this movie just screams for a reboot or a remake, because I feel like this is the kind of movie that could really take something that was good but not great and turn it into something that's its own thing and great on its own term or own standards, while still using like an existing character and lore. Justin, you're nodding your head, so I'm assuming you might be agreeing with that. But if you want to piggyback on that, jump right in. And what are some of the things you like, and then I'll go over my stuff and pivot into other shit.
Yeah. So before I even mention a couple things I like, I love that you brought up Leone, because I think because he uses practical effects, I think he would be a smart choice to remake something like this. I don't know that he would get the backing he needs to get a little bit of a budget to do something like this, because I think this type of creature, this type of special effects is going to require a little bit more budget. I don't know. He's pretty creative in the.
I think Terrifier. He would get the budget because he had it for
he's
Terrifier.
Made a ton of money. Yeah, absolutely. He's made a ton of money with that series. So I think he could do it, and I think he'd be a perfect choice because I think he would want to stick with practical, which I'm with you. I don't need a CG version of Pumpkinhead. If it's happening, I don't even want to see it. So having said that, jumping into a couple things, before I even talk about what I like, because Greg already brought it up, I had a note about little man Harley. This might be some of the worst pretending to be dead acting I've ever seen in fucking horror. This kid sucks. Fuck this kid. Anyhow.
I gotta say, if Damien Leone did it, then Pumpkinhead would be like killing people and like pouring salt on their wounds.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
That's fine. We can deal with that.
But to piggyback off of what Ryan said, I really love the look of this film. I liked it back then. I even like it more as an adult. Like, I love the pale lighting, the hypnotic visuals at times. Again, I mean, you can't not talk about the look of Pumpkinhead, but since Ryan already described it and you guys have talked about it too, I also really like the shriveled carcass of Pumpkinhead that we see that's right before it gets reanimated again as a monster. I really love the look of that fucking thing. It's really like, I don't even know, it's like witchcraft. I really dig it. And then just the whole creature effects, after that as it gets reanimated are truly incredible.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you guys on the look of the movie. Specifically for me, it's the color tones that Winston chose to use. When Pumpkinhead isn't around or coming to town to fuck some people up. You get all these really red, warm fire tones throughout everything, kind of, and as soon as he starts coming around, everything shifts to these blue, colder tones. It almost looks like a storm rolls in with Pumpkinhead, which is kind of cool. They do a lot of forced perspective shots, which make him look way bigger than what he actually is. Like, so the guy in the costume is on stilts. That's why he looks taller, obviously. But they do a lot of kind of showing him, but hiding him at the same time. And that's going to kind of pivot into where I'm going to start saying negatives on this. I mean, most of my other positives you guys already hit. Actually, I'm going to say one more that I absolutely love. There's one shot in this movie. Every time I watch it, I audibly say, that's such a cool fucking shot. And it's right when Pumpkinhead's starting to come out. The kids are all in this little house that they're hiding out in, and everything's really red and warm inside. And when you're looking out the window behind them, it's just this like radiant blue color, and you just see Pumpkinhead like stroll through the windows real slowly. And none of the kids see this like 9 foot tall monstrosity coming to murder the shit out of them, which is fine. But just the look of that one shot has such a cool, like, oh shit, it's coming moment that I love every time I see it.
So when Pumpkinhead finished for me, it started rolling into Pumpkinhead 2. And I
Very different movie.
Yeah, I watched the opening of that. I'm assuming it's maybe the precursor of Pumpkinhead or how he became Pumpkinhead. They're like, those city boys came in and they were like stabbing that fucking kid with the mental problems or the defects.
We'll save that movie for a different day. There's just a whole lot to unpack there because it's a whole different direction that they go in. One of the things they do in 2 that they don't do in 1 is they do have more of an emphasis on the gore, which this movie's really lacking in that. There's probably 8 or 9 people that get dead throughout the course of this movie, but they're all pretty uneventful, like mostly Pumpkinhead's just picking people up and kind of throwing them around or flipping them over and stuff like that. It's nothing too crazy, with the exception of the dude who actually killed the kid. He gets it, I guess. I think this movie, and it's kind of amazing to me that Stan Winston chose to go this route from a filmmaking. Like, on the one hand, as an effects guy, I get why he chose to show the monster so much, because it's pretty clear that the majority of this movie's budget went to making Pumpkinhead. On the other hand, if you work on a movie like Alien, you know, the idea that less is more goes so much further. And we said this a lot in the episode we did, but I really feel like if they had really like had a couple of those like, oh shit, this is why you're watching this movie kills in it, whether it's him ripping off a head or ripping someone in half or whatever, just something more gory and more like splattery, something more carnagey, and kind of save the reveal of the monster, or only give you peeks of the monster for a longer point of the movie. I think it would have created a creepier atmosphere. It would have given you more memorable moments throughout the movie, because quite frankly, like, I like this movie, but outside of the monster itself, there's nothing like super memorable about it. So that's kind of a problem, in my opinion, especially for this kind of horror movie.
Well, they should have at least lost the opening scene, maybe like not shown him in the opening scene and then show him after he's like, you know, been resurrected or whatever, because they could have done what you were talking about right there. Just show that guy getting killed off screen, or like not show the monster. But I just thought that was a weird choice, showing the monster. And probably the most graphic kill was that guy getting impaled by the shotgun, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of the biggest like drawback to this movie is, you know, for a guy that comes from the school of filmmaking, where not as a director, but, you know, on films that do so much with the less is more, so much with hiding the big parts of the big reveal of the monsters and building up the world, building up the characters, giving you little hits of gore without knowing exactly where it comes from. It feels like a huge missed opportunity in this movie to make something that's, instead of making a good movie that's somewhat memorable because of a monster, it kind of makes a movie that's good but kind of forgettable because all it is the monster.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
nice.
So I'm going to go in reverse order. Justin, why don't you go ahead? Is there, as we pivot towards negatives, is there anything you don't like about this movie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mentioned the kid earlier.
Fuck that kid.
I really dislike the fact that Ed Harley, obviously he's a good man and he senses what Pumpkinhead's doing. He's connected to him, in a mental standpoint. So it's so weird though to me how quickly he wants to stop it after just setting it in motion. And I guess maybe that's a victim of the runtime. I have no idea, but it just seems weird that he sets this thing off and immediately he wants to stop it, which I think is fucking weird. But and I also think you already talked about it, like the survivors are all weak in this movie. They in a genre that's known for the late 80s of like a lot of fodder and just victims for the bad guy to kill, and I get all that, but these fucking survivors are really forgettable, like John was saying.
Very forgettable.
And so when you're left at the end of this movie with Harley making a sacrifice essentially to stop Pumpkinhead, and all we're left with is these wooden characters that I couldn't give a two fucks about, that's not good. But I will say, because we haven't really talked about, I mean, Lance Henriksen's always great. I think he's awesome.
Oh, he's killer. He's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he, again, a great performance like he always does. He's just this consistently great actor, no matter what the role is. Even in a role like this, which in almost any other actor's hand would be nothing, he does a lot with it. Plus, he's just a presence on screen. The man's just beautiful. He's a great actor. He understands the job, and I love that about it. But having said all that, there's not much of a story here, to John's point. If it's not for Pumpkinhead and obviously a great performance from Henriksen, this is definitely a forgotten film.
Yeah.
Ryan, how about you?
Well, I want to start with a couple things that I picked up on now that I maybe didn't pick up on so much as a kid. Is that the intelligence of Pumpkinhead kind of eluded me the first times I watched it as a young buck, because he's doing shit that, you would just think they summon him and he would be a rampaging monster. But he's actually fucking pretty intelligent. Like, he rips off that bike chain to keep the fucking bike from going. He's like, got your bike chain, bitch. He knows how to properly hold a gun. I mean, I was like, okay, he's not a fucking total dumbass. Like, there's some intelligence behind him. And then I don't know how I never picked up that Pumpkinhead's face is slowly becoming Lance Henriksen's face throughout the whole movie. I can't believe I never picked up on that. Like, his face is becoming more human as the movie ends, because he starts off looking extremely alien, but then by the end of the movie he has like a man's nose and he has fucking man features. So, that's definitely some fucking backwoods witchcraft to play there in Harley.
The Affliction tank top and the tap out hat was a dead giveaway that he was turning into Lance Henriksen.
And like where I live like in the woods, not as extreme as Ann Hardy, but I still kind of get, there's a lot of farms and shit out where I live, a lot of fucking dirt roads, a lot of dirt roads you don't want to go down. I got all that shit here. It reminds me of, like, there was this big farm right across the street from my house, and I like walked up this fucking long dirt driveway to buy firewood. And they're like, what are you doing here? And there's like a lady in a rocking chair on the fucking big farmer's porch. It's like, I'm here to buy some firewood. He's like, we ain't selling you nothing till you pull up them pants, boy. So I like had to pull my pants up before they would sell me firewood and shit. So the family that buys the fucking food off of Ed, I met them before, basically.
Hey, Ryan, at least they didn't ask you or tell you had to take your pants down.
It's true.
Did they have a banjo?
I wish. That would have really made the whole scene. But
you should have battle rapped him for that firewood.
I would have smoked.
I will battle rap you for this firewood.
So there's a lot not to like about this movie, obviously. 90% of the kills, you just see Pumpkinhead's hand grabbing somebody's head and then like get thrown into a bush or some shit. Or you'll throw it when he throws the guy on the dirt bike. Maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen in a film. The way it lands just looks so perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just 100% I agree with John and Justin that a reboot of this movie I think would be in proper order, because I think you could do a lot with Pumpkinhead, give him those creepy elongated limbs and make him walk all fucked up and shit. I'd be into that. So, here's hoping for a brighter future for Pumpkinhead than this abysmal kind of conglomerate redneck horror space witchcraft tale that we got.
Pumpkinhead, Ed Hardy, 2028. They got my vote. Greg, what do you think? Negatives? Anything as we pivot here?
Well, so is Pumpkinhead more intelligent because he's tied into Ed Harley?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, it's never explained, but I would say yes.
Okay. And yeah, I did notice something about his face. It almost kind of reminded me of that, the Freddy Krueger there when he's like the puppet and his face like grows into the puppet and they cut the strings down. I think it was at 3. But yeah, his face looked definitely, and I wasn't sure what was going on, but now that Ryan's explained that, yeah, like Justin said, the acting or the survivors were terrible. They were just so unforgettable. So you weren't really rooting for anybody.
You mean unmemorable?
Yes, unmemorable, unforgettable,
Unbelievable.
yeah, they were, unmemorable.
They're so amazing. I couldn't remember them at all.
Whether it be like some of the characters in Nightmare on Elm Street or was it? I can't think of her name in Hellraiser because she's so memorable.
Kirsty,
yeah. Like you remember these characters and you kind of cheer for them because they're part of it. But like you guys said, without Lance Henriksen and this amazing creature, they got nothing because the story was all over the place. So yeah, I agree too. Remake would be awesome because the creature alone put the whole movie on his big ass shoulders. And acting was very bad. But I guess I've learned to kind of, whether if it's Jack Frost or I know Sleepaway Camp was more on purpose, I guess, but. I'm to expect that, right? In 80s horror is some cheese to it, but these guys were just over the top dirt bikers, and they were terrible, and you couldn't cheer for any of them. I couldn't even cheer for the kid.
Dickheads.
The kid sucked. I couldn't cheer for the kid. I was cheering for the dog. That's it.
I'm kind of surprised you guys all think the story was that lacking. I mean, it is a simple story. Like, I'm not trying to argue that, but I think the story works for what this movie is. I actually think the story, what they give you, is almost a strength to it because it takes away a lot of the things that would kind of hurt a modern movie. It's a simple story based off any bow fuck town in the world. Like, it could take place at any point in time, really, and it's really just a simple revenge story with a witch and a monster involved. So I don't have necessarily have a problem with the story, but I agree there's not a lot to it to really sink your teeth into. It's not like it's deep or anything like that. It's just like,
well, there was no context.
I agree. I think the premise is great. I think the overall story is fine. I think it's the execution with the script, with the characters. Obviously, in any movie, you have to have dialogue. There's just nothing there. There's like nothing. There is literally nothing memorable about any of the characters, the way they're developed, their personalities, anything. At least some of the horror films.
That's where I was going. The problem is you have no one to support Lance Henriksen in this otherwise.
Bingo. That's my issue with it. Yeah. That's my only issue with it. Great story, though. Great premise.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It was just a weird choice the way they killed off the kid with like a dirt bike accident. Like it was an accident.
I mean, at least they got rid of him. So
yeah, well, no, I'm saying, but that set the whole thing off. Like it should have been, if he's gonna like set Pumpkinhead on these people, like it should have been like they purposely did it, or
his head should have come off.
Yeah, or like he just came back and didn't even see what happened. He's like, I'm gonna set fucking Pumpkinhead off on these fucking dirt bikers, while this guy stays back and like, he gives him his glasses. He's like, here's his glasses.
The little kid's like, look at me, I'm dead, Dad. Look, I'm dead. See, can't you tell I'm dead? I'm acting right now.
It's so funny you say that because Michelle was like, are you sure he's dead? Is he alive? I think he's dead.
All right, so we pretty unanimously think the kid sucks and that this movie needs more beheadings. That moves us to the part of this where we talk about what the audience thinks, and I don't have them, but does anyone have any audience reactions? I think this is where we usually sprinkle in any letterbox nonsense that we want to put in there too, if we have that. So let's start with audience responses and whoever wrote in this time around.
Yeah, so I got a couple, and then we'll get to letterbox reviews there. I got one and this is all from Instagram. I got Bloody Babble. Said, tried it a couple times. Not for me.
Sounds like anal.
To the point.
Yeah.
It's like anal. At least you tried it more than once.
Poop stories coming soon. Spud McKenzie said it's a 6 out of 8. It's cool and has a whole different feel than most horror movies, I guess. This Girl Loves Horror, which is Becky from the Girl in the Gay podcast, another proud member of the You Run Podcast Network, says, I'd give it a good 6.5 slices. I was really pleasantly surprised by this one when I first watched it. Pumpkinhead looks great, even by today's standards. And my girl Michelle, she says 3 out of 8.
Damn.
Greg, wear these jeans and read this.
Lucky Brand jeans. They're elastic bands.
Hey, we said I had Hardy jeans. Justin, you got any Letterboxd reviews for us?
Yeah, I got one from Letterboxd. It comes from Emoji Marbles 009, and they say, oh God, this movie is even worse than Halloween because at least Halloween had potential, but this movie did not. They also proceed to say this with a lot of typos, by the way. I know I was going to hate this movie, but good God, I didn't think it would be his bad, this movie, sacred. I'm thinking it's supposed to be this and scared, but he wrote sacred. Me so much, and I don't care if this is a horror movie because I fucking hate. End of sentence, by the way. I guess, what should we expect from a user called Emoji Marbles, but nonsense drivel about a movie they may or may not have even watched? Fuck you, Emoji Marbles.
He sounds like he's one of the guys from the town that Ed Harley lives in.
Yes, he does.
Oh, Ed Harley. I'll tell you what, Ed Harley. Oh, come here, Ed Harley. Can we talk about Lance Hendrickson without his shirt in this movie? Jesus Christ.
Woo.
I'm not gay,
man.
but if I was, 1988 Lance Hendrickson looking pretty fine.
I've already said it. He was a beautiful man. I'm with you,
man.
Ryan.
Good dad, too. He's a
Yeah, he's
story
a great
time,
dad.
Paul. Yeah, I'll tell you, story. Come sit on old Ed Harley's lap. Now, I'll tell you story.
He was even going to wear that stupid-ass necklace that stupid kid made forever, apparently. I'm never taking this off, he said.
You look great for 25, you know?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around how you compare Halloween and Pumpkinhead.
I don't know. That guy's fucking stupid.
Pumpkins, Halloween.
Also, if you're ever interested in seeing, Lance Hendrickson's cum face, he makes it about 8 times in this movie. Because every time Pumpkinhead kills somebody, he's like,
It's called acting, Ryan. And while Ryan's over there acting, let's go ahead and move on to switching stuff up and talk about how we want to kind of mix things up in this movie. Ryan, are you through over there? Have you cleaned yourself up? Can you end us off on this one? Who do you want to replace in this movie, or who do you want to drop in to make it more interesting?
I'd replace everybody but old Ed Harley down at Razorback Hollow. I tell you what, Ed Harley. He's a goddamn fine gentleman, Ed Harley is, and I would keep him through the duration of the movie. Look, you keep Ed Harley, and you keep Sam Raimi's stock witch who runs the hut, because that is a stock witch from every horror movie you've ever seen. Every Evil Dead. She was recently seen in that stupid ass video game movie we reviewed, Until Dawn. So keep her.
Oh, jeez.
But everybody
about
else,
that fucking movie.
Everybody else, fuck them, dude. You could replace the main bad guy there, Kimbo's boyfriend, with Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh.
Yeah, and then it doesn't really. Who gives a fuck? Paul Rudd, throw Paul Rudd in there. Just anyone who can say a line and maybe deliver it semi-realistically would be nice. Like, this is a hard to give a fuck about anyone movie, except Ed Harley. But yeah, I'm ready for the CGI reboot, but not a lot of CGI, just creepy walking CGI. All right, think The Ring. All right, this could do with a fresh coat of paint for sure, but keep in some camp because that's who we are.
So speaking of camp, since we're on Switch It Up, I'm replacing all the people that matter in this movie. I'm replacing Pumpkinhead with a giant Chevy Chase. I want him to be like 9 feet tall, and I want him to just kind of act like Chevy Chase normally does in like Chevy Chase from like 1985 and earlier. I'm replacing Ed Hardy with Kramer dressed up in all Ed Hardy stuff from head to toe. But it's got to be the hipster doofus Kramer. So he's got to be sliding in and out of every scene and having Kramer reactions. Otherwise, this whole thing doesn't work. I'm replacing the witch with like 9-year-old Kevin McAllister, and Ed Hardy's going to go all the way over to Chicago to summon up Chevy Chase and create this whole mayhem fueled hour and a half that I'm rewriting here. And Kevin McAllister is just going to have him go through a little field of booby traps to be able to like unleash the final boss, Chevy Chase.
That's what I said.
So.
Booby traps.
Who wants to go next? Justin, Greg, pick, whoever wants to jump in.
I'll go next. You just had me fucking rolling with Chevy Chase. But hey, Ryan, little boy blue because he needed the money.
Hey.
Andrew Dice Clay belongs in this fucking movie. I wasn't as creative as you guys. I figured, hey, since Blossom is here, let's drop Joey Lawrence in here as another Wallens kid.
Whoa.
Literally just running around saying "whoa" the whole time, the whole fucking time, the whole movie. In the flashback, every point of this movie, he's just running around saying "whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa."
In his oversized leather jacket.
Exactly.
Great trailer.
Can you imagine that? Chevy Chase, Joey Lawrence, Andrew Dice Clay. That's a movie.
I'm buying tickets to this movie. You forgot Kramer and Kevin McAllister. Greg, good luck following those up. How about you? Who are you adding to this?
Well, instead of Ed Harley, instead of our boy, I got Ernest P. Worley coming in there. Battling Pumpkinhead.
Love it.
And I got Machine Gun Kelly as Joel because I would just love to see him get impaled with a shotgun. And as the kid, give me the kid from Jerry Maguire because I hate that kid too, and fuck him as well.
Greg, isn't it bad enough that Machine Gun Kelly gets a hand job from toe thumbs all the time? No matter how pretty your face is, you look down at that weird ass thumb hand, you're like, fuck. Instant loss of boner.
What have I done with my life? And so for a double header, if we're going on to that, we said we pick a double header.
I didn't even think about that, but let's go ahead and do that. We might as well do double features. I could think something up real quick.
I'm going with Cronenberg's The Fly. Another
much better movie.
Creature feature. Oh, yeah. And we got even sexier Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
He's looking at Pumpkinhead like that pile of shit in Jurassic Park and going, no.
All right, well, if we're doing double features, I'm going with Near Dark because it's another Lance Hendrickson running around the desert being badass movie. God, yes. I'm going as simple as that and making it a Lance Hendrickson double feature.
I'm going Chevy Chase double feature and throwing Funny Farm in there.
Nice. Perfect.
Because why not?
Ryan?
I need a palate cleanser. I'd probably go Fievel Goes West. I've been wanting to watch Puppet Master again for a while, so I'm going to throw Puppet Master on. Just go double cheese. Hit me, baby.
Never seen
late 80s movies I haven't watched in 20 years. All right. So that kind of brings us to the end here. So Ryan, why don't you kick us off and we'll hit Justin, myself, and let Greg bring us home. Ryan, how's this hold up? What are your final thoughts, your verdict, whatever, however you want to rate the movie that is Pumpkinhead featuring Ed Hardy and his bedazzled tank tops?
So look, I love the setting. I love backwoods, deep woods settings. I love that the kids just pile into the back of the pickup truck and take off. You know, that's what's missing now in the world that we're living in. That's why overpopulation's an issue. Kids aren't driving in the back of pickup trucks anymore. I love that Ed Harley is still going to deliver the grain, even though his dead son's in the truck with him, because dead son doesn't trump work ethic in this movie, and that's important. Okay? I mean, it was fun to go back and watch it again. I mean, I just noticed a lot of hand, A lot of Pumpkinhead
lot
hand in
of
this movie.
scratching.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the aspects that I missed out on when I was a kid, so that was cool. Should I score it now? Am I fucking scoring this shit?
Score it.
I'm
1 out of 8.
I'm gonna say 4 out of 8
Crustometers.
Crust for me. Not that I would never watch it again, but I would like to see a new interpretation.
Justin, why don't you go next?
Yeah, in spite of what we might have said here, I actually really do like this film. I like the tone. I love the look of it. John described it earlier. I love the blue tones. I love the lighting. I love the way it's framed at times. Henriksen is awesome as fucking always. The creature looks amazing. So yeah, am I going to go 20 years before rewatching it again? Probably not, but it's not one I'm going to rewatch annually. But I'm going to go a little higher. There's some nostalgia built in as well from watching it on TNT at times. I dig the look of this movie. I dig the creature, and Henriksen's the man. So I'm going 6.5 out of 8.
Woo!
I'm not far off from you. I think this movie has its place in horror. I think and some people here can vouch for this, Greg cannot. Once you really start going into the creature feature movies, this actually really does shine above a lot of them, especially from this era. The practical effects go a long way in it for what you get. It's not without its shortcomings, but I think it's way more good than bad. And as we've already mentioned, Henriksen is a fucking legend. I'm, like I said, not far off from Justin. I'm at about a 6 out of 8. I will watch it again. I prefer part 2 because it's got Linnea Quigley and more violence in it. But this one, it does a lot of things. It does more right than wrong in it. And I can see why people love this franchise, even if it's like just kind of middle of the road for me. Greg?
Yeah, so obviously we've talked about the creature design, and some of the shots, some of the lighting. I thought all that was awesome. Story was a little off in a way. I'm not saying it was a bad story. It just, like I said, with the dirt bike.
Stop talking shit about the story, Greg.
I'm not talking shit about the story. Just said they could have got there differently. And I think a remake would be awesome. I kept on thinking that while I was watching that. Like Ryan said, the kills were kind of weak, just a lot of scratching on the face. I lost my mind and laughed so hard when Pumpkinhead was up in the tree. Like, how the fuck did he get up in that tree? He's great at climbing trees. He was all the way up there. It was like a fucking palm tree. No branches to grab onto. But so I kind of thought I was getting redneck aliens, and I feel like I was misled a little bit, even though. So I did like this movie, and I thought Lance Henriksen was great. Like Justin said, the other characters were very forgettable, and I went with a 5 out of 8, which I feel like is a pretty good score. And I do like it. I thought it was a good movie. I mean, will I revisit it again? I watched it 3 times, and I'm going to watch Pumpkinhead 2 because the beginning of it really made me laugh. So more city people coming in to cause some shenanigans.
We don't like you big city folk out here.
I really hope this series turns you into a shit cinema fan, because we need more of those in our world. So
I mean, I worked at Blockbuster, so I'm more of a corporate movie guy. I watch movies
that's a problem.
Like Forrest Gump and Hook. Bangarang Rubio.
Those are movies. So I think that's all we got for this one. So I don't have any idea what we're doing next. We haven't really talked about that yet, but we'll figure that out. This isn't my show, though. So Greg, Ryan, why don't you guys wrap us up and get us the hell out of here so I can go summon a demon in my backyard and, throw a kid off a dirt bike. Or throw a dirt bike at a kid, whatever.
This is probably going to come out mid to late April. I'd say mid-April. So what is Justin got going on for shows coming up? Have anything you want to pump?
Oh, geez. You had to do that to me right now, right? I don't know, because I'm so far ahead, but I would say mid-April. I know Return of the Living Dead's coming out with my boy John. One of my favorite movies of all fucking time.
Hell yeah.
And it took me way too long to finally cover it. That's going to come out early April. I got The Prowler coming up with Jordana from Pretty Killer Podcast, which I'm really excited about. Greg and I are jumping back into movie versus movie, which is going to be really cool, as well as music recommendations. And then Kate and I are going to be covering why we love The Spice Girls. That's right.
Oh,
I fucking love the
shit.
Spice
yeah.
Girls.
I want
Movie or the band or both?
The movie and the band. I
Hell
fucking
yeah.
love the movie so much. I love the band even more.
That movie has the best bridge jump in the history of film.
It's got so many good things about it that not enough people appreciate it. So yeah, that's a lot of the stuff coming up in April. Beyond that, dude, I have no clue anymore.
Every time we cover the Spice Girls, I always say I'm going home to watch the movie.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Gets a lot of reaction. John, what about you? What is the Dewey Pod Monster got coming up? You guys got like Forrest Gump, Terminator 2, all the popular movies?
We've already done Terminator 2. We are going to do Forrest Gump, but we got to get Justin's already agreed to that. We just haven't figured out a time to do it. Well, we're giving him a platform to let him just scream about it as much as he wants, and that's what I'm hoping for. So April will be coming off a crummy movie March, so we spent all of March doing Terminator knockoffs, so those will all be available at this point. For April, since we have March pretty much spoken for all eternity, we decided to do threequels because it's the 4th month, so we're talking about the sequels that are number 3 within franchises. I'm not going to say what they all are because we haven't figured them all out yet, but one of them is a movie that Greg likes quite a bit and covered recently. We'll put it that way.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, yeah. Ryan, what about you? What do you got going on? How many rap albums are you releasing? What's up with the collabs?
All right, I'm not going to get into all that, Greg, okay? Right now, I'm getting ready to open the food truck here pretty soon, so
right.
It's going to be mindset, grind set till I die.
Wander with me. One of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had. It's touched my lips. It's been inside me.
Okay.
What a chicken sando. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, John,
You gotta come to Maine, dog.
Yeah,
I guess so.
It's a quick drive from Detroit to Maine, I'm sure.
It's like 30 hours. No big deal.
It's worth. It's a 30-hour chicken sandwich. I guarantee it.
Well, how far are you guys from Boston? Like drive-wise?
I'm an hour. Like hour and 20 minutes for me. Probably.
Okay, so it's like 25 hours. That's like nothing. I can do that standing on my head.
I can do that like a day in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't need to go over what I'm doing, Greg. I'm just being me. I'm living life. All right. I'm just doing shit. I'm busy. The fuck.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank everybody for listening. You're all beautiful, beautiful people. We're obviously representing the You Run Podcast Network, the most important podcast network in the history of podcast networks. Oh, you're on a podcast network? You probably suck. We don't.
Whoa.
We're the Wu-Tang of podcast networks, bitches.
And Wu-Tang's coming out of retirement for all
again.
Again.
Yeah, check us out on Spotify, Apple Pod, YouTube. If you want to join our Patreon for just as low as $1, you can get episodes just like this one. And we got some pretty fun episodes coming up. Check out Pop Culture Reflections Patreon. Check out Dewey Pod Monster Patreon. And check out the shows. Give them 5-star reviews. YouRunPodcast.motherfucking.com. Without the motherfucking in there. Just .com.
Wu-Tang.
And remember, kids, in Crust, we trust.
Wu-Tang.
And Harley, I tell you, I'm down in Razorback Hollow down there. She's in that swamp down there. PumpkinHead, I tell you what, man.
You need a big cheek full of dip to do that.